Hello everyone and welcome to So Easy. Let's have a look at what are we going to create today. This is what we are going to create today, so let's start by creating a new composition. We will name it as main comp. The size will be 1280 by 720, 25 frames per second, and 10 seconds long. Now we will create a new solid. We'll rename it as background. And we are going to make it green in color. Again, create a new solid. And we'll name it as circle 1. Make it white in color. With the circle 1 layer selected, go in Effects, Generate, Circle. Press Shift page down to go 10 frames ahead. Click on the radius stopwatch to add a keyframe. And type 0. Come back to the first frame and increase the value till you see the screen covered with white solid. Select the layer and press U. You will see the keyframes. Select both the keyframes and press F9 for smooth ease in. Let's play what we have created. After this, we will again create a solid layer. And we'll name this layer as Circle 2. And again, we will put the circle effect on it. Now select the edge as thickness. And add keyframe to the radius and thickness. And make the value of edge and thickness as 0. Again, press Shift page down to go 10 frames ahead. Then increase the value of both radius and thickness. Select the layer and press U. You will see the keyframes. Select all the keyframes and press F9 for smooth ease in. Move the keyframes just when the circle 1 ends. Press Alt and left arrow to move the keyframes. Let's see what we have created so far. Duplicate the circle 1 layer. Press Ctrl D to duplicate the layer. Press U to see the keyframes, and we will offset the keyframes a little ahead. So this is what we have created so far. Now we will create a rotating world. Import the flat world map. You can find it on the internet easily. Press S to open scaling attributes. Apply CC Sphere effect on it. Bring down the value of light intensity to 0. Also apply the fill effect on it. Make the color of the fill to complete white. Press T for opacity and bring it down to 40%. Press S for scaling attributes. Add a keyframe and make the value 0. Go ahead in time and increase the value. Select both the keyframes and press F9 for easy ease. And we will place it after the second circle coming out. Select both the keyframes. Press Alt and left arrow to move the keyframes. Now we will add rotation. Add keyframe to the y-axis. Go ahead in time. Add a little rotation. Select the layer and press U. You will see the keyframes. Select both the keyframes and press F9 for easy ease. Make sure your keyframes are selected and click on the Graph Editor button and also that edit speed graph is selected. We want the rotation to be fast for a few seconds. So we will adjust the speed graph. As you can see the graph editor, it speeds up and then slows down. We will also add a little bump effect on Earth. So shift the last keyframe of the scale attribute to the right and increase the scale value in between. Now let's see how it looks. You can adjust the resolution depending on the speed of your computer. Shift all the keyframes of the Earth layer to the left. Now let's see how it looks. So after this, let's make a circle. We don't want any fill color. We'll make stroke color yellow and stroke size 10. Press Shift and drag to make a perfect circle. Click on the anchor point tool to center the anchor point. Place the circle on the edges of the Earth. Hold Shift while increasing the size. We want this circle to have some gaps in between. For that, go in Ellipse, Stroke, Dashes. Increase the size of the dashes and make it round cap. Click on the dashes again. It will open the gap property. Increase the gap property as well. We will add some random rotation. For that, we will type an expression. Select the layer. Press R for rotation. Hold Alt and click on the stopwatch. Type times *20. You can see the rotation. We will create the similar bump effect which we did on the Earth layer. Press S for scaling attributes. And I am going to repeat what we did early with the Earth layer. Let's play what we have created. So this is how it looks after render. We will again create a stroke circle, but this time white in color. Place it in the center. Scale it up. And again, we will add dashes to it. Make it round cap. And also add gap. Increase their gap, make the dash 0, and increase the stroke. That's the look we wanted. Now we will add some random rotation to it. Press R for rotation. I'll click on the stopwatch and type time *35. After this, we will also scale this up, like we did for the other two layers. Press S for scaling attributes and scale it up from 0. It is coming up a little late. So we'll move the keyframes to the left-hand side. Now we will create the nameplate. Make a rectangle. Fill it with the yellow color. And also give it a stroke of white color. Press T for opacity. and make it 70% so that it looks a little transparent. Take the text tool, type your text, and place it in the middle of the box. Also scale it down so that it fits inside the box. Now we will duplicate the yellow box. Press Ctrl D to duplicate the layer and move it on the top. Use arrow keys for moving the box. Increase the size of the box. And we'll write traveling for this box. Place it in the center of the box. Select the text and its box. Right-click. Select Pre-compose. We are pre-composing it so that it's easy to move them together. Again, we will do the same with this layers. Adjust the positioning of the text as you want. For rotation, with the layer selected, hold W and adjust the rotation easily from your mouse. I want the love layer and the traveling layer to conform inside the yellow dotted lines. So for that, create a new solid. The color does not matter. Place it above the love layer. Hide the layer. And now, we will create a shape on this layer. With the layer selected, we will create ellipse mask. The size of the mask will be a little smaller than the yellow circle, because we want the text to come from inside the yellow circle. After this, change the track matte to alpha matte. Press P for position, add a keyframe. Now you can see, the text and the box are coming from inside the yellow circle. Add easy ease to the keyframes. We will repeat the same steps for the traveling layer. Always rename your layers. Make sure that the solid is above the pre-compose layer. With the layer selected, create ellipse mask. It's not important to create the perfect circle. Cover the edges, especially the area from where you want your text to come out. After this, change the track matte to alpha matte. Press P for position, add a keyframe. Let's see how it looks. Adjust the keyframes so that it looks proper. Add easy ease to the keyframes. Now, we will add some elements in between. Select the rounded rectangle tool. Make a very small line with no stroke. Go in rectangle and add repeater. Increase the number of copies to 8. Make the position of the repeater as 0. And rotation as 360 divided by 8. As you see, it creates the circle of lines. Go in rectangle and change the position to create the perfect circle of lines. After that, add trim path to the layer and add keyframes to the start and end. Press S for scaling attributes and add keyframes to it. Press U to see all the keyframes. Reduce the size of scale to 0. Go ahead, by few frames, and increase its size. And also increase the value of start, and decrease the value of end. Move the end keyframes by couple of frames, and then we'll see how it looks. It's little fast, so we will increase the timing of the keyframes. Let's see how it looks now. We have completed the main part of the animation. We will create another solid of yellow color, and we'll apply circle effect on it. Change the color to yellow. Add a keyframe to the radius, select invert circle, and increase the size of the radius. Go ahead, by few frames, and make the size 0. Press Alt and arrow keys to move the keyframes. Type your text and place it in the middle of the screen. Now we will create the circle bus to reveal the text. Hold Shift to make a perfect circle. With the layer selected, press Ctrl-Shift-N to create a mask. After that, go in Mask Properties and change the shape to ellipse. We will change the color to sky blue. Add keyframe to the mask expansion. Make the value 0. Go ahead, by few frames, and increase the value. Duplicate the mask, and change the mode to subtract. Then move the keyframes of mask 2 a little ahead. This is what we were looking for. Now place it in the center of the composition. We want the text to appear after the opening animation. Select the layer. Press Alt left bracket to trim the layer, and also adjust the circle burst accordingly. Press U to see all the keyframes, and Alt arrow keys to move the keyframes. Move the text layer little to the right. Let's see how it looks. Let's increase the size of the circle and place it in the middle. After this, we will import the final logo. Bring the logo down to your timeline. And we want the logo to appear few seconds after the visit text. Just right here, we will trim the layer. Make the layer visible. And then, we will apply linear wipe effect on the logo. We will keyframe the transition. Add some easy ease to it. We want the wipe to end slowly, so we will do that changes in the graph editor. So let's RAM preview it on the high resolution. You can change the color scheme to a better one, and make the animation more smooth with your graph editor. So this is how our video looks. You can also add motion blur to it. Subscribe to our channel for more such videos. You can follow us on Facebook for more updates. Thank you for watching. See you next time.